Ooh, you have a whole new hairstyle. That's fabulous. When did you make that choice? Okay, I was gonna say, I just saw you painting. I don't remember this at all. So that's brand new, nice. Doing pretty well.
How's Neil doing?
He is doing well also. He's being a cat. You know, he's not really. He likes to go and look out the window and see what's happening. Similar to what he would do with a bird. He hears the noises.
Morning, Jeff.
This is my. Y'all will want to come out for the Time for All Ages, though.
Make sure that your microphone is on.
I shall. And I mentioned as they were headed out, but as we get toward the Chalice and Covenant, if you wanted to just quietly sort of wave at the window to remind them to come back in, I think they're gonna be really sad if they realize that there was chocolate and they didn't get any for the Time for All Ages.
Yeah, we get chocolate.
You do, we're doing mindful eating, so we'll each get a piece of chocolate.
Did you wash your face this morning?
I did.
Me
I
too.
have to do. I can probably stand like a wipe my glasses again. Just dump my arm. Yeah, if it's to the left, it tends to go back.
Oh,
So,
really?
or like an hour and 10 minutes, it'll start popping. Towards the end, it's actually really nice if I happen to be going over on my sermon.
Didn't even get it.
And I'm like, and wrap it up. Everybody. All right.
Come, whoever you are, whether you are joining us online or in person, whenever the last time you went to church, whomever you love.
Welcome. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Cheyenne, where we are building a community of refuge, where all have equal worth and are invited into spiritual exploration as a foundation for hope, compassionate service, and action.
This is a place where questions are encouraged.
This is a place with room for all of who you are.
This is a place full of works in progress.
This is a place for being human together.
Welcome. It is good to be here.
Settle in and exhale. This is a time for community.
I'm not going to touch the mic. I'm not going to make that snap. Okay. Yeah. Good morning. I'm Marcy Kindred. I'm a member of the board, and I'd like to welcome you to church, where we are on this shared journey to find meaning, connection, and community together. One way we do this is through the activities and events that happen in our building and in the community beyond our walls. I'll tell you about a few of those events that are happening. We're going to invite you to join Reverend Elizabeth for the UU History Series on Thursdays in April on Zoom or in person in the church library at 6:30 p.m. In this final class, we'll be discussing the consolidation of the two religious groups into our current denomination, who we are today, and what kind of a faith we are becoming. Thursday at 6:30. If you would like to help out as one of our Kamea dinner servers, please be in touch with Lori I've never said your last name. McGill. Are we in here, Lori? Do we have? No? Okay.
She was last.
If you would like to help as a server, be in touch for April or May. And just a note, if you'd like to have a joy or sorrow offered in prayer, please write on one of the note cards, which are in the pew boxes with the donation envelopes and our welcome cards for newcomers. We pass on additional labeled basket alongside the offering to gather these cards. Write your name or leave your joy or sorrow anonymous. You can also write "do not share" if you have a concern or need to share with the minister, but do not want it spoken aloud. We're also doing the paper drive. Our biggest needs are plastic forks, large plates, dessert plates, small desserts plates, and coffee cups. And I know they're also taking Ziploc containers for to take meals to folks. So if you need to clear out your Ziploc container bin like I do, bring some on over. And that is all I have for you today. Oh, offering. I'm going to bring up not Abby, but Emily Smith to talk about Black Dog Animal Rescue.
Perfect. I'm filling in for Abby Kircher today, but we thought it would be perfect that I'm going to come and talk to you about Black Dog Animal Rescue, who is our Share the Plate partner this month. I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the PAC program, which is a BDAR program that I think is really important that you guys would, if you don't know about it, would be interested in. So the PAC program, I'm not sure how long it has been going on for, but it's a partnership between Black Dog Animal Rescue and the prison in Torrington. The program is on the prison's end a job for the incarcerated people in that particular program. It is a real job in that you have to interview for it, you have to apply, there's a lot of training involved, and then what happens is Black Dog Animal Rescue has identified dogs that need training. Usually they're young, they're very rowdy, they've got a lot of energy, they need to focus that somewhere. And so they send them up to the prison to be matched with an incarcerated person. They actually live with that person in their space for, I think it's about 8 weeks, I'm not positive on that. And they actually, the incarcerated people that are working in the program actually are animal trainers. They are trained as dog trainers, and they train those animals for the 8-week period before they come back and then can be adopted out by BDAR. And that program is really, really important, obviously for the animals, which BDAR is an animal welfare nonprofit, but it's actually really, really important for the incarcerated people. I visited that program probably 5 or 6 years ago, and it was very, very moving to visit that program. The pride that the handlers, the incarcerated people, take in those dogs and the connection that they make with those dogs is just something you can't even hardly describe. It's just so important for them to have that connection and have that purpose in their life and have that job and that skill that they're doing. It's just amazing. And so if you haven't checked into that program, you can contact BDAR to find out more information, or if you can volunteer. But if you think it sounds like a good program, please put your dollars in the offertory basket when it comes around. We want it to stay around for a long time because it's super, super important for our community, both for the animals and the incarcerated people that are involved. So go BDAR.
Thanks, Em.
Thank you. It is. So I'm wondering if that might be me.
And I'm going to go ahead and mute and just use this mic for a bit. So when we do our offering, we gather both in person and on Zoom to share our resources and for the work of this church and community organizations that broaden the reach of our value. So if you're joining us online or you just prefer to use your phone, you can find the address of the Realm app in your order of service, or you can go right to it if you've already done it and have the app. Your Share the Plate offerings may also be dropped in the baskets or at the rear of the sanctuary at the end of worship.
Have sung for 1,000 years. The hills fill my heart with the sound of music. My heart wants to sing every song it hears. My heart wants to beat like the wings of the birds that fly from the lake to the trees. My heart wants to sigh like a chime that flies from the church on a breeze, to laugh like a brook when it trips and falls over stones on its way, to sing through the night like a lark who is learning to pray. I go to the hills when my heart is lonely. I know I will hear what I've heard before. My heart will be blessed with the sound of music, and I'll sing once more.
Good morning. And thank you all for being with us in the mystery. Our order of service did not want to print this morning, and so I know folks are going, but what comes next? And we're just gonna live into it together. And I appreciate that. Our call to worship is in conversation with a quote by Annie Dillard. Annie Dillard writes, "We are here to abet creation and to witness to it, to notice each other's beautiful face and complex nature, so that creation need not play to an empty house. In this house, filled with the holy, this sacred space, let us pause to notice one another, notice our surroundings, to give thanks for the earth and the skies and the wind, to give thanks for the pull of muscle and sinew of our own bodies, the realness of being, of body and spirit awakening and alive, the push and pull of breath, the gentle pulse and thump of blood circulating from heart to hands, so that hands laid back upon the chest can feel their own sustenance. This is the home of your soul, this sacred self. These are your companions on the journey. Look to one another from earth to sky, and let us join together in worship." And Chuck is going to help us with a stretch to awaken our sacred bodies.
I think this is something that I've done with you, with the congregation before up here. It's been a while. The gift of the body. Thank you, Google. Anybody know how many bones are in the body? 206 is what Google says. I mean, some of us might be short or long on that. How many systems? 10. Yeah. I mean, circulatory, digestive, skeletal. I can't remember the rest of them. So part of this, did you know that the brain has 1.1 trillion cells? All right, so this is a participatory piece. You'll see I'll give you a quick run through. Those of you on Zoom will not be as embarrassed, but I'm asking you guys to be vulnerable with me. It's called Stand Up, Wake Up, right? So I'll demo it, and then we're going to do it together, and we're going to just see how silly we can all be together. What you want to do is evacuate all the air out of your system as you're sitting, right? So initially, you're just going to blow it out. And you can do this when you get up in the morning, right? You can get up in the morning and you want to get your body ready for the day, and you want to do that big shift, okay? And then what we're going to do, for those of us that can, for those of us that cannot, please just do what you can in your seat. But you're going to stand up fairly quickly, and we're going to breathe in really deeply and hold our hands up. Okay, so that's the rehearsal. And then you're going to smile as big as you can smile. You ready? Breathe it out. Breathe it in. Stand up.
We made it. Right? Oh, you didn't even stay standing up, because now we are going to go ahead to our first hymn. So if you
Want to do one more version of it, you can crunch back down in your seat and go. And then pick up your teal hymnals, and we'll be doing hymn number 1007. There's a river flowing in my soul. All right.
As we prepare to light the chalice, there's a couple of pieces that I'd like to share. In terms of centering, if you want to take another breath, we're going to do some breathing in a little bit as well. Feel free to take a breath. And remember that calm period, for those of you that have a meditative practice, it makes sense that if we do our laundry, if we clean our cars, then it would also behoove us to clean out our minds and our subconscious occasionally. So if you want to just take a second, maybe close your eyes, check in with your body, feel the warmth, feel the energy within your body, sink into it, get heavy in your seat, notice. And if you'll take your hands, go ahead and open up your eyes. If you'll take your hands and place them a couple of inches over your chest and feel the heart, feel the soul, feel the energy. Visualize white, bright, maybe yellowish heat, warmth, your center. Let it come out and hold it in a ball in front of you. Maybe sponge it a little bit. Rotate it. Get a sense for the energy that you have. Feel the warmth. Okay? Then go ahead and rub your Rub your hands together like you're creating friction and energy there. Okay? And then take your hands and just put them an inch or two away from your face. Feel the warmth. Feel the warmth on your face. And then take your hands, yoga pose, your left hand facing up, so your right hand is giving energy and your left hand is receiving. So give with your right, receive with your left. Right? Notice that exchange. And with that, it's time to transition into the covenant. If the young or young at heart would like to join me at the chancel at this time, we invite you to share in the leadership of speaking our covenant in unison before our time for all ages. Come on up, you guys.
Thank you. All right. Everybody ready? Love is the spirit of this church, and service its cause. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek truth, and to help others. Thank you all. Thank you. So if you'd like to have a seat on the steps. How many of you folks like to eat food? Anybody out here? Oh my goodness, almost everybody.
I love it.
That's a pretty popular thing. Does anybody have a favorite food?
Ramen noodles and mac and cheese.
Ooh, ramen noodles, mac and cheese.
It probably will be chicken strips.
Ooh, chicken strips.
Nice.
That's pretty good food. Anyone else? What are some favorite foods?
Peanut butter and Nutella on white bread toast. That's what I like.
Ooh, peanut butter and Nutella toast.
Probably peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
A peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yeah, I really like fresh raspberries when I can pick them from outside and they're warm. I heard freshly made strawberry jam as a favorite. I've got magic ears. It comes with ministry. Yeah, so do people tend to eat their favorite foods really fast or really slow?
Slow for me.
Slow for you? Slow? How many people eat their favorite foods really slowly? How many people like to eat their favorite foods really fast? Because you just want it. Want to have it. Yeah. Yeah. So people do that different ways. So there's something in a lot of religious traditions, a lot of different ways of being spiritual, that people do something called mindful eating. And it's kind of like when you have a favorite food and you decide to eat it really slowly so you can enjoy it for a long time. So people will bring themselves into a meditative state by really focusing on the food that they're about to have. And we are actually going to try that today. Yeah, so I brought a couple kinds of food to try. And I'm going to pick those up. You have a choice. And so when you get your piece of food, we're not going to start eating it yet. We're going to take it and just hold on to it while we go through a whole meditation. Do we feel able to do that?
Yes.
All right, so your options are a strawberry or a piece of chocolate or a grape. So you can choose one, and then if a couple of you can walk down the aisles like we do for our offertory, and we're going to also pass it out so the adults can join us in our time for all ages. So do folks have a preference? Chocolate? Strawberry? We're all going for mindful chocolate. Just one mindful chocolate, please. Thank you. Yeah, and a strawberry? All right. Do we have some adults or children who would like to send these down the aisle? So we've got grapes, we've got chocolate, and we've got
Strawberries.
strawberries. Thank you. And I'll take one as well. Thanks. So, those of you who have a chocolate, you can start with the wrapper and feel how the wrapper feels. If you have a strawberry or a grape, you can feel the texture, those little indentations in the strawberry where all of the seeds are hiding. In the grape, you might feel how smooth it is. And then you're just very slowly going to undo the wrapper or keep feeling. And when you're ready, or when the wrapper's off, you can smell that strawberry or that chocolate smell. I got a really good strawberry. It has a lovely smell to it. Yeah, yours is a good scent. Yeah, you could even try brushing it along your cheek or across your lips to feel if that's a different feeling than with your finger. If you're online, you could be doing this with whatever food you have nearby you. And now, if you have your peel off, and you've smelled it, and you've felt it, and you've looked at it, I'm going to ask you to just put the tip of your tongue out and just touch that with the tip of your tongue. And then look around and go, hey, now everybody's got their tongues out in church. Because joy and amusement are also a part of worship. And then you can take a tiny little bite and really think about what that tastes like. Is it sweet?
It's sour.
Is there a hint of sour, or bitter?
It's just a little bitter.
Is there a little bitty crunch from seeds or a pop when you go through the skin? And then, as we go back to our seats, we're going to continue mindfully eating just little bites until you're all the way through. Thank you all so much for sharing this time. Thank you all. There are so many ways to be in prayer, to share in practices of spirit together. One of them, one that we are trying out this month, is with our candle table. And so today, I invite you to be a part of a moving blessing of prayers. Like Buddhists may spin prayer wheels in Tibet, sending forth blessings of mindful concentration, or pagans use circle or spiral dances to wind together the energy of community, as the Christians do stations of the cross, moving through a prayer, we offer the opportunity to be a part of a circling movement of community. So we will sing together our meditative song, number 1031, Filled with Loving Kindness. And while we sing, anyone who feels called, who would like to offer a candle for a joy or sorrow of your life or in the community, feel welcome to come up the center aisle and to our table, and then we'll go back down that, for you, right-hand aisle, to complete a circle, to wind prayer through our community. So we'll begin. May I be filled with loving kindness.
In the deepening and the centering piece of worship today, we're going to work on what we call four square box breathing. There's a number of iterations to it. Some people probably know alternate nostril breathing, and some of the advantages are that you get to be present, you get to be mindful. So if you want to take it just a second and maybe hear what you're hearing, feel what you're feeling, see what you're seeing, taste what you're tasting, and smell what you can smell. And then on the next in-breath, see if you can do all of those together. Hear, feel, see, taste, smell. From Rest is Resistance by Tricia Hersey. We're socialized into systems that cause us to conform and believe our worth is connected to how much we can produce. Our constant labor becomes a prison that allows us to be disembodied. We become easy for the systems to manipulate, disconnected from our power as divine beings and hopeless. We forget how to dream. This is how grind culture continues. We internalize the lies and in turn become agents of an unsustainable way of living. It can be easier to believe resting is simply about retiring to your bed when you are tired instead of beginning the messy process of deconstructing your own beliefs and behaviors that are aligned with white supremacy and capitalism. You must be committed to studying how training under the abusive teachings of dominant culture has you bound and limited. This is healing work. This is justice work. When we are aligned against the ideas of the oppressive culture, we understand we didn't arrive on earth to be a tool for a capitalist system. So, before we hear some more music from Priscilla, we're going to work on this box breathing technique. I call it 4x4. So I'm going to explain it, and then we're going to go through a couple, 3, 4 iterations of it together. And all you really have to do is follow me. We're going to start by inhaling for a count of 4, and I will hold up my fingers and count these off for you. And then you will pause for 4. And then you will exhale for 6. It typically takes longer to get rid of the air. So we'll go through a count of 6. Then we will pause for 4 again. We'll get a little oxygen starvation. And then you will inhale for 4. And you'll think about what happens to your heart rate, to your respiratory rate, as you begin to center your body with this breathing technique. Okay, let's begin. Breathe it out first and then start with an inhale to the count of 4. Pausing for 4. Exhaling for 6. Pause for 4. Inhale for 4. Pause for 4. Out for 6. Pause for 4. In for 4. Pause for 4. Out for 6. Priscilla.
Thank you. Between that and the box breathing, I'm just like, well, this was lovely. So, this month, we have been talking about and doing practices of embodiment, practices that bring us back to our physical selves. We are sometimes told you have to know yourself as the home of God. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And that's not just your mind or the insubstantiality of your spirit. That is you, your body, with all of its imperfections and differences. Yes, you are inherently worthy. Even that part with the little mole on it, or the odd birthmark, or the hair that you wish didn't have to be plucked. All of you, all of who you are, is worthy. And so, these practices that stop us from divorcing mind from body, leaving ourselves in some discomfort sometimes, these practices that reintegrate our whole selves are a fundamental part of our shared spirituality. I want to tell you a story, and I'm going to preface it by saying it's a story about gun violence, which I know is tender for many people, so I don't want to surprise anyone with that. But many years ago, when I was living and traveling across the highlands of Guatemala, I was involved in a bus robbery. The young man robbing the bus had a gun and fired it into the ceiling of the bus to incite fear, to prove to us that they were armed and dangerous and ready to use their weapons. And in that moment, hearing those sharp noises, I didn't feel fear so much as I was intensely angry. I thought, not only do you have a gun inside of a space packed with people, but what if those bullets had hit at an angle in the ceiling, or hit a nut or a bolt or a piece of stone or metal that was on top of the bus and come back in here? You didn't even intend to kill people, but you could have hurt them. And I was so angry that I decided, I'm not going to pay you for being dangerous and stupid. I refuse. And so there, sitting with my backpack in my lap, I took my money quietly out of my pocket and put it into my underwear and went, I'm just going to tell them I don't have any because I'm not giving them my money. And you know, they looked in my backpack and I said, solo tengo agua y libros. I only have water and books in there. And they looked at my horrible, trashy $10 phone and went, we don't even want that. And they passed on. And later with my friends, I laughed about how I had saved my money from those rude, awful people, all $14 worth of Guatemalan quetzales. And I thought it would be fine until I woke up nearly a month later to a sharp pain in my elbow and my head. I had heard fireworks early in the morning, a traditional way to celebrate people's birthdays. And in the middle of the night in my sleep, I had jumped out of my bed to hide. The body remembers our fear. Even when we think it wasn't, even when we think we've shed it, I can laugh about that. But the body remembers the hard parts of life. Trauma can stay in our bodies for years and decades. Newer research shows that trauma can actually change the way that your genetics are expressed and turn on and off genes that will then be expressed in your children generations later. People whose parents or grandparents have lived through of starvation or food restriction, whether famine or war, have a tendency to store fats much more efficiently, which in today's calorie-rich environment of the Americas can cause many very different issues. But people who undergo stress in their daily lives also may find themselves jumpy or having a hard time settling into a relationship or going on vacation and lying down in a beach chair, because the intensity of the difference from that normal state of stress causes an anxiety of absence, a subconscious struggle to believe that quiet and calm can be both normal and desirable. And so, we turn to practices that have sustained people all over the world for hundreds and thousands of years. Because what therapeutic techniques are telling us today is that there is a science to so many of these spiritual practices. Gazing into a candle, sitting, focused on breathing, engaging in intentional movement timed with inhalations and exhalations, synchronized so that each side of the body can become attuned to the other. These kinds of things, from yoga to mindful eating, to breathing, to monastic chants and singing together with our hymns, our movements, all of these spiritual practices can bring us back. Let us learn a new normal once again. That normal that so many of us don't see in our everyday lives, where production and doing is at the forefront of our attention. But we are not valuable because of what we make, valuable because of what we do. Yes, those are appreciated, but we are worthy because we are beyond purpose, simply because we are alive. So, as we go forth from this place, as we go forth with words from Tricia Hersey, who founded the NAP ministry, a practice of simply lying down and being with ourselves once again. As we are with all of these new, or possibly very normal for you, ideas of ways to be back with your body, I ask that you remember that the notion that we are not what we make is a radical one, and one that needs you to help it root in the world. Because you are sacred, and so is every person you meet. Blessed be, and take it with you. So now, if we'll rise in body or in spirit, we'll join in singing from our gray hymnal, hymn number 395, Sing and Rejoice. And this is a round. So I'm going to ask you to be with us in that fun challenge of doing one side and then the other. We'll sing it all together once, and then 3 times. Marcy will help lead us on this side. Fabulous. Oh, you're that side? All right, so Marcy will lead our first section, and I'll lead our second section here with Jean and Camille, and we'll go 3 times through in round. 395. Yes. We'll do it all together first.
Sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice. Rejoice, sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice.
2 more times.
Sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice. Sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice.
Please
Lovely.
remain standing as we extinguish our chalice flame and then send forth our children.
Nope, we're not sending forth children.
Oh, that's not happening. Right. Rainbow Room is temporary, no, it's okay, it's under construction. Can
It's just next week.
our chalice flame carrier come up to get their electric candle?
Also no, because we're
so-
not doing that part.
And Reverend Elizabeth, please, okay, this is in your, somewhere in your, well, we don't have an order.
We're just all gonna do our best.
But our bodies are ready to handle that with laughter. That is so awesome.
Yes.
So, I know these words, and some of you may know them by now as well. We
Extinguish this chalice flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry within our hearts until we are together again. Blessings, and may you go forth with joy and laughter and love. Blessed be. Thank you so much.